Barry and Lorraine Young have been fighting a war for over 20 years against meningococcal disease. Since the death of their daughter Amanda, she was only 18 years old at the time. Amanda's garden has been set up, but it's part of the Amanda Young Foundation, an effort to deal with the issue of meningococcal disease, to find answers. Come with me as we go for a walk through the garden and meet Barry and Lorraine Young.
After Amanda died, a lot of her friends from school came out with potted roses. Instead of a bunch of flowers, they were potted, and they left them on the veranda. And we were faced with where we were going to put them because we had a limited garden. Most of the yards were horse yards, and so we started slowly to develop the garden. Another father of a girl that Amanda coached went all the way across to London to sort out the Amanda rose. We tried every nursery in Australia looking for it. And the interesting thing was the Amanda rose was bred the year Amanda was born in 1979.
With the garden, we get a great deal of satisfaction of the garden because, as you can see, it's a very peaceful and tranquil place.
The garden is our main fundraiser. We raise about $28,000 over 2 days, and that's with a lot of help from volunteers and friends.
As to quote a well-known specialist in Perth, you can be well at breakfast and dead by dinner. And that's largely what happened to Amanda. She rode in the state championship on Saturday afternoon, and at 5 o'clock the next day she was dead. It's just hard to comprehend that something can happen so quick.
I was angry with the health department because when I asked what happened to Amanda, they said it was meningococcal, and they didn't know what I was getting upset about. There's only 1 or 2 cases, and I said, well, that death you're discussing is my daughter. And I vowed that I'd make a difference.
There's a lot happened since 1998 when Amanda died. There's now a vaccine freely available for type C, and in more recent times the Commonwealth and state governments have done a great job by providing a multi-vaccine which covers the A, C, W and Y varieties. So as a result of the campaigns, there's only been 8 cases in Western Australia this year, which is a huge improvement on the 86, 100 that used to be going back 20 years.
We run a kitty canter program through the middle of the year for pre-primary kids, educating little ones and their parents, because the information goes home to their parents. We run a young leaders course, which is for young year 11s, about 15 to 16-year-old kids. They come to do a 4-day residential at Penrose, and they learn about meningococcal in particular, but they do learn leadership skills like stress management and goal setting and things like that. We employ on a sessional basis health promotion officers who go into schools.
A lady rang up and said that she'd like to bring 15 people from her church to the garden fete because her 14-year-old brother died of meningococcal back in 1991, and no one knew anything about it. And I think that is definitely the major achievement, by creating awareness and putting it on the map so that people realise that this is something very serious.
It's a bacteria, and if I sneezed or coughed on you, if I was a carrier, you inhale it and it gets into your bloodstream and away it goes. People confuse it with amoebic meningitis, which you get from waterborne diseases like in pools and things like that, and that goes to the brain and causes meningitis. This goes straight into the bloodstream, far more lethal. People need to be alert, assertive, and take notice. If their littlies aren't feeling well, don't assume that it's just a little tummy ache or something. Get them checked out. There's no harm in getting a doctor to check it out. And be vaccinated. There are vaccinations available right from the time they're 2-year-old. There's no excuse.
What a fantastic garden is Amanda's garden. I hope you've enjoyed that little journey around the garden. It's a beautiful place, but it's more than just a memorial to Amanda Young. It's been an opportunity over more than 20 years for her parents to get the message across about meningococcal disease, to bring awareness, and changes have occurred in our society as a result of their work with the Amanda Young Foundation and this amazing garden, Amanda's Garden.